Hello, welcome to Jason the Old Millennial. My name is Jason, speaking to you here in my basement in the great state of Kansas. And today I am continuing my top 100 favorite album series. I am now at number 34, and I'm going to be talking about the album 9 from the artist Damien Rice here on Jason the Old Millennial. Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well here on I believe it's Monday, Monday afternoon, late afternoon. Of course, we got Christmas coming up, so I hope everybody has a Merry Christmas and a safe Christmas. So I'm still doing some videos this week as I have time to do them in between my work days and all that. And next week, I probably won't be doing a whole lot of videos because I'll probably be visiting my family the next week because I'm working this Christmas, so we'll see. I'll try to get some videos out this week, and I don't know what I'll do next week yet. Anyways, but yeah, I'm covering my top 100 favorite albums. This time, number 34 on my list, which is a album called 9. And it's just the number 9. And this came out in 2006, and it's by an artist named Damien Rice, who's an Irish, kind of indie folk singer, I would call him. And I covered one of his albums already called O, was his first album. This is his second album, 9. And he's only come out with 3 albums. It's kind of interesting. I think he's absolutely fantastic. His third album, something like Faded Fantasy or something like that. Beautiful Faded Fantasy or something like that. I forget. But the third album I don't think is nearly as good as the first 2. But the first 2 are really good albums. And I highly recommend if you have never... He's a guy that most people probably haven't heard of. He's got probably a little bit of a cult following, because I think if you do listen to him and he's like me and he's your kind of music, you just fall in love with the music and you're like, this guy's absolutely fantastic. It's weird that he only has 3 albums. I think because he's an interesting guy that he's not like super ambitious, I guess, and he doesn't have a big record label or anything. I think he has a small record label like in Ireland or something that that produces his albums, I guess. And and I don't think he really is looking for this huge career of these huge albums and Grammys and stuff like that. Like, he's not really going for that. He does love to perform, though. He does concerts over in the UK, I think, in Europe area. And I've seen videos. If you go on YouTube, you can see videos of him singing live, and they're absolutely fantastic. He sounds really good live. And he also has some kind of videos, almost like music type videos on there on YouTube as well. I mean, I highly recommend listening to those. But yeah, this is a really great album. Just a little bit above O. I forget where I had O, but both are almost pretty similar to me. Is really great. I have this a little bit higher as an overall product. I think about every song is really, really good here. Yeah, it came out in 2006, so this is the second album. I forget, third album probably came out in 2010 or something. I don't know. So, like I said, he doesn't produce a whole lot of albums, but I think he still writes songs. Maybe he puts out singles and so forth. And this actually charted number 4 in the UK, so it did actually pretty good. I mean, top 5 album in the UK when it came out. And number 22 in the US, so actually did not too bad in the US. So, I mean, he's not a complete unknown. He did some charting success here. I feel like the big single off here is 9 Crimes. I think it's the first song, I believe, on the album. I don't have the album myself. It's one I would like to get on CD, probably. But when I looked on Amazon, I don't think it was in stock, so I couldn't find it. So I feel like it's going to be a hard find to find the CD of this one, unfortunately. But yeah, 9 Crimes, it went number 29 in the UK and number 5 in US 100 singles. So on one of the charts, it did very well, number 5. Anyways, I think this definitely... It's not, I don't know if it's a song that I heard on the radio so much, but it seems like it's one of the songs, like, when I heard it, I've heard it in movies, in fact. The funny thing about Damien Rice, he has a couple songs that I've heard in movies, and that's where I kind of discovered Damien. This one would be 9 Crimes, which actually appears in Shrek 2, I think, or Shrek 3. One of the Shrek movies it's not Damien Rice's version, but I believe someone else is singing the song, but yeah, 9 Crimes shows up in like a Shrek movie. I remember watching Shrek and this song came on, and I was like, oh, I really like this song. I wonder who sings it, or whose this comes from. And that's where I kind of delved into, somebody named Damien Rice. And he had a song called Blower's Daughter that was in a movie called Closer, which had Natalie Portman, Jude Law, Julia Roberts, was in that movie. And there's a scene where it's Damien Rice singing Blower's Daughter, while like Natalie Portman's like walking in slow motion down the street. Anyways, and that was another case where I'm like, wow, this song is so good. Who is this artist? And it's like this artist I've never heard of. He's never on the radio. Nobody ever talks about him. And that's why I kind of started discovering him back in the day on iTunes. And I went on iTunes and like bought a lot of the songs. Luckily now you can hear him on Spotify. So, but yeah, Nine Crimes was a song I remember just being like, wow, this is like maybe his most well-known song. And it's not that well-known probably, but I mean, it did chart. But also Dogs was also a single that came off here. Really good song. And Rootless Tree was the other one, which neither one really charted. But so none of them are big charts. The album's not really this big one-known album. So it's kind of, to me, a hidden gem album. Album that I have to recommend to everybody if you haven't listened to it. Don't know Damien Rice? I mean, I highly recommend O and 9. Listen to those two albums. And I think you love it. If you love kind of, I call it indie folk kind of music, because it's mostly Damien Rice with acoustic guitar, sometimes a piano. So it's very much acoustic or piano. And it really highlights his vocals because he has an incredible voice. He hits incredible notes in the song. And he also has this other singer, this woman named Lisa Hannigan, who also plays the cello. And so there's some songs that will have, his acoustic guitar or piano with a cello, and it sounds so beautiful together, the two instruments. And Lisa Hannigan has an incredible voice, and they do a lot of duets on like these two albums, and they sound really good together, the two voices. Anyway, so absolutely love the vocals on these songs and all that. Anyway, so but yeah, I feel like he's almost like a poor man's Ed Sheeran or something like that. Like, and I'm a fan of Ed Sheeran, but I mean, he doesn't sing fast-paced rap music like Ed Sheeran might do in some of his songs, but I feel like he's a guy that, like I said, acoustic. If you like folk singers that sing with acoustic guitar, he's a singer-songwriter. I mean, he writes his songs, and I wouldn't say he's like a great songwriter, though, because the songs I don't understand what he's talking about. But he's very good, because I think there's some kind of hidden meaning that I just don't get. He's almost kind of poetic somewhat in his songs. But overall, one of my favorite singer-songwriters out there, who I wish would do more albums because he's so good. And it's too bad that he hasn't really, done a whole bunch of like huge albums or anything, or is well known. Anyways, but yeah, so I get down to my top 3. Number 3 is a song called The Animals Were Gone. Interesting song. It's very low key. It's like him and a piano, and he's singing very low, and it's very soft. And then it gets to the chorus, and the chorus is absolutely amazing. Like, I think a violin comes in. He does a lot of orchestra on his songs. But like a violin will come in, and he's great at crescendoing. He's great at starting soft and then crescendoing into loud, faster music in his choruses. And the contrast between the soft and the louds really make the song so good. And this one especially, it's just an interesting song. From the verses and the chorus are so much different. And so it's so fun when you get through the verses, which aren't bad, and then you get the chorus, and it feels like he's really more passionate, really letting out. And I think even Lisa Hannigan sings along with him in the chorus. And yeah, it's a really, really nice song. A really good guitar picking also. Number 2, I have Dogs, which was one of the singles I talked about, which is not about dogs really. I don't know. It's about some woman, anyways, and who has a wolf as a pet, and she likes to do yoga. And anyways, it's an interesting lyrically song. But I love the acoustic guitar playing on this song. It is so good. It's a kind of a fast picking, not fast picking, but it's picking, and some good drumming in there. And it's more of a lighthearted song, I would say. And but yeah, just amazing vocal work. And I love when he gets to like the bridge, and he really gets loud, and he really puts a lot into it. Again, so good at when he gets into these loud, passionate choruses and bridges, whatever you want to call them, and hits some really incredible notes. And the guitar playing is just absolutely fantastic throughout the song. And it's one of my favorites of his. It's called Dogs. And number 1, I put Nine Crimes, which, like I said, it's probably his most well-known song. If you know anything about this album, this is one that I've seen, like I said, heard played in like Shrek. and so forth. And it's it's a really good duet with Lisa Hannigan. It's definitely, they both take turns on the verses and sing along in the choruses. And I'm not sure what this song's about, but it's very interesting kind of lyrically. And I love how it starts with just, the piano is very simple, but yeah, I absolutely love the sound of the piano on this. The melody is just really great. It's really just like a piano, and then it starts with Damien's vocals, I think, if I remember right. And he sings a verse, and it's so good. It's very low-key, but still very good. And then a lot more instruments come in on the chorus, and it's like, is it all right if I have a gun, even if it's loaded or something like that? And I'm like, I don't know what he's talking about a gun for, but it's very interesting lyrically. But is it all right now if I have a gun loaded, something like that. Anyways, really good though. And then you get the second verse, and then it's Lisa Hannigan's vocals, and she sounds really good. She has this like really nice, like soft voice that sounds really good. Anyway, so she sings like the second verse, I believe, and it's so good. And then they come back together on the chorus, and them together with the piano, and then they bring in some, I think, more orchestra music, and man, it sounds so good. Definitely one of the top songs of his, the best song on this album in my opinion. Nine Crimes, definitely gotta check out. Even I think has a music video on YouTube, but definitely check out these three songs, especially Nine Crimes if you haven't heard it. And check out this album 9 by Damien Rice, which is number 34 on my top 100 favorite albums list. So yeah, so thank you for watching this video. Thank you for liking it. Thank you to all the subscribers for supporting the channel. Hope you have a Merry Christmas, and have a good day.